Tonight on Cougar News, we shine a light on how COC is observing Mental Health Awareness Month.
And we find out how one Santa Clarita neighborhood became a temporary home for one out-of-place critter.
And finally, we drive you to the greens to congratulate COC's newest championship team. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello everyone and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Leslie Romero.
And I'm Sophia Lesios. And here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom. Classes were interrupted yesterday by a series of 3 consecutive fire alarms in Mentry Hall. Students poured out of the building into the neighboring courtyard each time the alarm sounded. They gathered in a large crowd and waited for the campus officials to formally clear the building. However, each time there was no fire. The alarms were tripped when a sensor located in the ventilation system on the 3rd floor of Mentry Hall was activated by debris believed by faculty officials to have been generated by a wood shop class. Maintenance workers were able to identify and clean the sensor at fault to prevent future false alarms.
A colorful display with a somber undertone, the Health and Wellness Center hosted their annual Suicide Awareness and Prevention event to shine a light on stigma of mental health. Reporter Elizabeth Medina takes a look on how we can combat the second leading cause of death in college students.
A topic surrounded by stigma.
The amount of people that are touched by suicide is overwhelming.
Was the main focus of Shine the Light.
We want everybody to sort of know, hey, this is an issue, especially around this time. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's also during finals, so it's a time when people start getting really distressed and stressed out.
Students and faculty were welcomed by a vibrant display with a sobering message.
So we're trying to bring attention to the sad fact that 1,100 students across the country take their own life every single year.
Each of those lives were represented by a paper lantern displayed in the Honor Grove.
We'll have a resource table, and community providers will be giving out flashlights with the suicide hotline engraved on them, resources, suicide lifeline wallet cards, and Jimmy John's sandwiches.
For those who feel apprehensive,
you can call the Student Health Center. You can walk down here, make an appointment. If it's urgent, just say it's urgent, I need to talk to somebody, because we're always going to be here.
Other options include dialing the Crisis Lifeline.
It's 1-800-273-8255. You can call this number 24/7. There'll be somebody there.
Reporting to you for Cougar News, I'm Elizabeth Medina.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and College of the Canyons is training students and faculty to recognize the signs of those under duress. Coordinated by the college's Student Health and Wellness Center, reporter Caden Cerulli tells us why SPURT is so important.
And here in Santa Clarita, unfortunately, our city is known, we have a very high suicide rate in our city.
Students, teachers, and counselors from College of the Canyons came together for the Suicide Prevention, Intervention, and Response Training Session in Canyon Hall on Tuesday. Instructors discussed the possible signs of depression and suicide to help prevent future cases. COC has not seen a suicide by one of its own students in the last couple of years, but that does not stop them from coming together to spread awareness on the controversial topic.
What I'm walking out of here with is finding a way to get this room packed with more parents and more students, because it's not just about suicide awareness, it's about mental awareness, self-awareness, being educated about human being, who you are, what you are.
The Student Health and Wellness Center promoted a mental health first aid action plan called ALGAE. First, assess the situation for risk of suicide or harm, listen non-judgmentally, give reassurance and information to those struggling, encourage appropriate professional help, and finally, encourage self-help and other support. COC's attention on mental health will last all month long.
Everything is just too much to handle.
Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Caden Cerulli.
So what are the symptoms of depression?
Last week, COC hosted an event to highlight the dangers of street racing, Reporter Bobby Block was there to capture the heartbreaking stories of lives cut short by this dangerous practice.
Where's Valentina? Valentina died.
Valentina died. These are two words that Liliana Triejo hoped she would never have to hear. But on December 12, 2013, she did hear them when she was informed that her teenage daughter had been killed in a street racing incident.
I just collapsed the floor as you saw.
Since then, she has made it her mission to prevent others from suffering the same fate.
I'm here living, without my daughter, and this is why I have this organization.
She is the founder of Street Racing Kills, an organization that presented at COC last week.
I wanted to do something that would touch the hearts of the students.
Police officers and parents of victims shared their stories.
This is the stuff we deal with, stuff we have to, we're trying to enforce laws, and this is kind of what we face.
His whole body got torn up. His head looked like a basketball. I seen him the second day in the hospital. I didn't think he was going to make it. He is a miracle.
They hope to educate students about the risks involved in street racing and remind them that the danger is real.
This is reality. This is something that happened, and it happened to me in particular.
They also wanted to respond to a culture that they felt glorified street racing.
They just show the girls and the money and the cars and Fast and Furious, and I'm trying to show the other aspect, and that's that people end up dead.
For more information on Street Racing Kills and their advocacy work, you can visit their website, streetracingkills.org. For Cougar News, I'm Bobby Block.
With more and more mass shootings happening all over the country, schools are doing their best to protect students. Cougar News reporter Jonathan Stratton shows us how COC plans to tackle this growing issue.
Schools do a lot to prepare us for disasters, taking the time to set up drills to practice for the worst to give us the best chance. Active shooters have become one of the most common threats facing our schools. Practices to protect ourselves from them are very common, but what happens when they aren't taken seriously?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate, but again, that's why we drill, is to build awareness and make sure that people understand the importance of participating and being prepared. Every time you do a training, it's an opportunity to learn, and so it was a great experience, and I think everyone who was involved in it found something of value in it and learned how to be better prepared.
Some knew and chose to ignore it, while others weren't even aware it was happening.
We sent out the texts and emails. We also used the intercom system that reaches phones on campus in classrooms.
With no exterior intercoms, those out on campus only receive texts about the drill.
I feel like a text message, no one's going to really listen to it. So if you want people to actually participate and be cautious of it, actually put out an alarm or something, tell everyone to get inside. But I feel like if it was an active shooter on campus, people would actually react better and go inside a classroom, not just sit around.
For Cougar News, I'm Jonathan Stratton.
Leslie, have you heard what's going on with the College Board?
No, I haven't, but I'm sure Pradithya knows.
I do. Thank you, guys. Yesterday, faculty members from across California's community college system have taken an anonymous vote 22-0 of no confidence in the state chancellor's Eloy Ortiz Oakley. The faculty board cited several recent actions that they say Oakley failed to consult them. The key points: Oakley's rep has denied these claims, sending a list of public talks that the chancellor was a part of since 2007. This is the board's first vote of no confidence in nearly 20 years. Alabama Governor Leigh Ivey has signed what some pundits are calling the most restrictive ban on abortion in the country. The Alabama State Senate approved the new measure yesterday that would make nearly all abortions in the state illegal, directly challenging the 1973 Supreme Court decision of Roe v. Wade. The measure seeks to ban abortion in every state of pregnancy and could charge doctors who perform the procedure with felonies that can land them in prison for 99 years. The only exception to the ban is if the mother's life is at serious risk. And finally, 5 teens were arrested over the weekend for a series of armed robberies, assaults, and carjackings in San Jose against men who believed they were meeting up with a woman they had met through Tinder. Police said the group created fake profiles on the dating app so they could communicate with men and convince them to meet up in person. These men may have hoped for a relationship, but at the end of the day, they only ended up with getting robbed. Officials advise that when meeting up with someone you've never met before, to always tell your friends where you're going. and that's what's trending. I'm Praditya Fulumrani. For more breaking news and local stories, be sure to follow us on Facebook at COC Cougar News. Back to you guys.
Thank you. While many were excited to be celebrating with their moms on Sunday, others might have felt differently. Cougar News reporter Savannah Birchfield shows us the emotions that surfaced leading up to Mother's Day.
With Mother's Day approaching, many are in high spirits.
I was going to make a card for her and then maybe take her to breakfast.
Most are eager to express how much they love their moms,
I think of her as like one of my best friends.
including a message of gratefulness.
Thank you for being there when I need you.
Since relationships can be long distance,
She lives in Turkey.
some don't get to see their moms as often as they'd like.
We haven't had a chance to celebrate Mother's Day together since I came to college here in '93.
But others no longer have the opportunity.
I can't pick up the phone and wish her Happy Mother's Day anymore. And it didn't really hit me until like the following Mother's Day after she had passed away, and I went, oh wow.
For College of the Canyon's Professor Dave Brill, this time of year is especially difficult.
I don't think about it that often, but this one day, I always think about her. Doesn't matter what I'm doing.
Those that won't be celebrating with their moms may be experiencing a lot of emotions.
Mother's Day is going to bring up those grief issues, so you're going to be, expecting to feel loss, expecting to feel feelings of sadness, expect to feel like anxiety and longing. And sometimes you might even feel guilt.
Anyone at COC that may be struggling has support waiting for them at the health center.
All you have to do is walk down, make an appointment, and you can talk to a therapist here, a personal counselor.
Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Savannah Birchfield.
Still to come, Emily Mahler gives us the latest entertainment breakdown from this week's box office.
And we see just how much effort it took firefighters to get one furry friend down from a tree. And this time, it wasn't a cat. Stay tuned.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks donors to schedule an appointment to give now. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Your blood donation is critical and can help save lives. Please, schedule an appointment today. Download the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. You can make a difference.
They've been very caring. They care about every single student that's in the class.
Everyone seems to be like pretty friendly with each other. Like no one's really afraid to ask each other for help.
Working with other people, not being ornery, actually, listening to what people say, collaborating with them to create a really good product.
It's great to use the same stuff the pros use, especially at a community college.
Hopefully we give them a pathway to have their creativity showcased.
I've gotten a great education.
I love the access to equipment.
I've made lifelong friendships.
I have great teachers.
In a home fire, can your family safely escape in 2 minutes?
I heard my oldest son holler for mommy, and all I could see was smoke. The boys, we never really worked with them, I guess, on telling them what to do if there's a fire. We lost our child. We lost everything.
Make sure you can safely escape a fire. Practice your 2-minute drill. Test your smoke alarms monthly. Make your plan today.
opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
This is Cougar News.
Santa Clarita residents woke up to a surprise guest in their front yard early this week. Reporter Taylor Hilo tells us more about the very special visitor.
A furry friend was found napping in the trees of Santa Clarita. Residents watched as officials rescued the bear and safely loaded him into a truck to be taken to a shelter for treatment.
All we ask here is that mostly just the people stay inside of their houses, observed from a distance. They do want to get the bear out of the tree safely. If they need to, they'll tranquilize it and then try to get it back to the wild.
Authorities used a tranquilizer and a pressure hose to safely incapacitate the animal, making it easier for them to transport.
It was kind of exciting. I wanted to get a little closer because I'm not afraid of bears at all. But, you know, it was nice. It was nice. It was nice seeing how well that was executed.
This is at least the third sighting of what seems to be the same bear roaming the Santa Clarita Valley.
With the number of sightings just this week, it begs the question, why are we seeing so many bears all of a sudden?
This is kind of in the middle of the city. You know, the mall's fairly close to here, so it is definitely a surprise to me. And, you know, 15 years on, to see something like this is it's kind of exciting.
Unsure as to how he got here, all we know is he's a long way from home.
Really worried about it because I saw him darting him, and I'm going, there's nothing to catch him, and how's this going to play out? And when they came in with the ladder and caught him on that after they darted him, I go, that was excellent. They did a great job.
Now, in good hands, once he recovers, the bear will be released back into the wild. For Cougar News, this has been Taylor Hilo reporting.
Hey Sophia, have you been to Disneyland lately?
You know what? I actually have, and I heard that they're opening something new. I think Emily has more to tell us.
Thank you, guys. In almost 2 weeks' time, Disneyland Park will open its new land, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, for fans of the popular series and over 1 million annual pass holders from California. It's time to buckle down on your plans early. Disneyland has already started your planning with online reservations. Park goers who grabbed reservations after waiting for hours will have a 4-hour time slot to explore Batuu for the first month of the park's opening. The park is expected to hit capacity early in the morning all summer. May the force and short lines be with you. Avengers Endgame, within only 11 days of its release, has surpassed the second largest opening of a film in the global box office. The culmination of 22 films have brought new and old comic book audiences to the theater, making Titanic's ranking sink. Have you seen the film yet? How long will it take them to beat another James Cameron film, Avatar? One theater business is hanging on with Titanic for dear life. The biggest movie exhibitor, AMC Theaters, has its quarterly earnings drop 13.2%, losing more than $130 million in the first couple months of 2019. This money loss has been because of underperformed blockbuster ticket sales for films like the live-action Dumbo. But with the news of Avengers Endgame and advanced ticket sales skyrocketing, can AMC bounce back? On Thursday, we got a scary sneak peek of the upcoming and highly anticipated sequel to 2017's It Chapter 1. In the trailer, we see one of the Derry's Losers Club all grown up. Beverly Marsh is visiting her old home, now owned by an elderly descendant of the creepy clown alien Pennywise. This cast is truly astonishing. Jessica Chastain as Miss March, and rounding out the cast is Bill Hader and James McAvoy. Stephen King, Pennywise's creator, has a good feeling about this. Tweeting out, looking forward to It Chapter 2, you should be. I've seen it and it's terrific. Looking forward to September. That's it for entertainment. I'm Emily Mahler. For more box office news and to see this semester's last emotional episode of Cougar Review, be sure to check out our website, cougarnews.com. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Emily. William Shakespeare famously said, "All the world's a stage." Reporter Natalia Radcliffe brings us a story on one organization that uses stagecraft to reshape the world for local children.
We all have something we're passionate about. Escape Musical Theater offers an opportunity to those who have an enthusiasm for performance. It started out in the halls of local grade schools, growing to be a formidable force in the Santa Clarita Valley. The company has its own building and boasts over 300 participants in the program. People ranging from kindergarten through high school can join.
So we went from one show a year, then maybe a year or two later, 2 shows a year, and now this will be our 3rd year with 2 shows and 2 weekends each.
For some participants, the values learned hit home.
Since both my parents met through theater, I started to fall in love with it, and being brought up in the company just meant theater was always my home. I can't even consider my life without Escape Theater, and that just continued a passion past high school.
Children in the Escape program not only learn about the different aspects of theater, they find strength and confidence in themselves that can be applied to any aspect of their lives.
We get so much feedback from people saying, "My child did this report, and it was fabulous. They had never talked in front of people before, and they've developed a lot of confidence."
I think it helps you to be creative. I think it helps you face your fears. I think that it helps you learn how to talk to people of many different ages, communication skills.
After a 9-year hiatus, Escape Theater will be doing La Labner once again at the PAC in mid-June. For more information, you can visit their website at escapetheater.org. For Cougar News, this is Natalia Radcliffe.
Central Park was a fairground this weekend, hosting this year's Tequila and Taco Music Festival. Reporter Hannah Kieran has the story.
Santa Clarita's very own Central Park lit up this weekend for this year's Tequila and Taco Music Festival.
It's our first annual at this location, but we've traveled all throughout California for about 8 years, San Diego all the way up to Santa Cruz and beyond.
Even the soccer field became a dance floor.
We've decided to go ahead and integrate 90s and 80 popular bands in Tequila and Taco, and it's been a hit. As you can see, it's very busy tonight.
The 2-day festival was packed with live music and, of course, homemade tacos. One even took the place of a party hat.
Today is my 30th birthday. They came all the way from Buffalo to make this. Buffalo, New York. It was worth it. It was worth it. Yeah.
Drinks in hand, guests were also able to enjoy things like line dancing, caricature artists, and unique snacks. The festival's sister company, Boots and Brews, is set to host their next event in Central Park on June 15th. For Cougar News, I'm Hannah Curran.
Coming up next on Cougar News, we celebrate the latest championship team from COC.
And graduation is just around the corner. We'll tell you everything you need to know to be prepared. Stay tuned.
In a home fire, can your family safely escape in 2 minutes?
I heard my oldest son holler for mommy, and all I could see was smoke. The boys, we never really worked with them, I guess, on telling them what to do if there's a fire. We lost our child. We lost everything.
Make sure you can safely escape a fire. Practice your 2-minute drill. Test your smoke alarms monthly. Make your plan today.
possibilities.
It's a gateway to opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
This is Cougar News.
One of COC's most valuable resources set up shop last Friday to show off their work. Reporter Ryan Burke gives us more.
College of the Canyons Makerspace Studio hosted their third annual open house last Friday, an event designed to inform students about what they have to offer and to show off some of their work.
A lot of people on this campus still don't know about the Makerspace, and even though it's here, even though we have signs up, they say, you know, what's the Makerspace? What do you do there? How can I use that to my advantage?
The Makerspace is a workshop that allows students to engage with technologies and equipment that they normally might not get the opportunity to use.
Each year we kind of do a little bit of an open house just to remind people that we're here, get people in, and hopefully make new people aware that we're here for them.
The open house began with words from staff and professors who let those in attendance know about what the Makerspace does for those on campus.
We're actually utilized by a couple of the architecture classes. The NASA HAS project uses Makerspace to build their student payloads.
The event continued on to have guided tours of displays featuring different creations that were made inside of the workshop.
We hope students come in here to be creative, to be innovative, work together and collaborate. The end game is that the students learn skills that are critical to the workforce.
The Makerspace is open Monday through Saturday, so feel free to come in and work on anything you might need to. For Cougar News, I'm Ryan Burke.
Do you know what's going on with the COC golf team?
Yes, I heard they won big. AJ has more information.
I do. You may know the New England Patriots and the Golden State Warriors as a pair of epic dynasties, but you might want to add the COC men's golf team to that category. For the 9th time in 26 years, the Cougar men's team were crowned state champions. The Cougars won by a whopping 18 shots at the Silverado Resort and Spa on Monday. Canyons topped the 8-team field, followed by runner-up Santa Barbara City College and third place Cypress. COC freshman Nobu Wakari won the individual state title after finishing 2 under par for the tourney.
Monday was really pride. I was really proud of the guys. It's 3 weeks of a real grind. And I watched them the whole, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 7:30 at night, and never a bad attitude, never an angry toss of a club. They just were focused, and I was really proud of them.
3 members of the COC's track and field team qualified for the state meet after competing in the SoCal Championships. Jordan Palmer advanced after placing 1st in the shot put and 4th in the discus. Delon Bunchio also qualified after finishing 6th in the long jump. Celeste Gonzalez heads to state as well after her 7th place finish in the 1500 meter. The state championship will take place this Friday and Saturday at the College of San Mateo. Best of luck, Cougars. Light as a feather and fast as a shark, COC swimmer Roddy Feather made school history at the California Swim Meet Finals. The longtime local swimmer wrapped up his college career by placing 2nd in the 400 individual medley. That's the highest finish ever for a Cougar man or woman at the state meet. And the following day, Feather also took 3rd in the 200-yard backstroke. And at the CIF High School Championships in Clovis, a pair of swimmers put Santa Clarita on the map. Valencia's Isa Adame placed 3rd in the 100 breast and 10th in the 100 fly. Canyons' Kevin Childs was 2nd in the 100 and 10th in the 100 fly. All told, 25 high school swimmers took part in the meet. COC football alum and current Tampa Bay Buccaneer defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul suffered a fracture to his vertebrae after he was involved in a single car crash. The one-time Super Bowl champion is not electing to have neck surgery and will be re-examined in 4 months. His current timeline for recovery is 5 to 6 months. Pierre-Paul had a team-leading 12.5 sacks this last season and will look to return in October or November. Get well soon, Jason. And that's all for sports. I'm AJ Subidra. You can catch up on all the latest local sports news by following us on Twitter at @COC_Cougar News. Back to you, ladies.
Thank you. Santa Claritians hit the trail last Saturday to celebrate Bike Month. Reporter David Gonzalez rode down to Heritage Park to see how these cyclists are celebrating.
In celebration of Bike Month, Santa Clarita residents took part in the Hit the Trail community ride at Heritage Park.
It is our 6th annual event here at Heritage Park, and it's a chance for families to come out, get a nice bike ride, get a chance to see our 30 miles of trails that we have in the Santa Clarita Valley. We do it every May in cooperation with Bike Month and also in cooperation with the Tour of California.
Cyclists of all ages took part in either the 4 or 9 mile trail. There were also games, prize giveaways, and even tricycle races.
It was a good ride. The community was really supportive and really friendly. The trail itself was easy, so it's not too many elevation changes. And the trail was clean, which was a big plus.
Hit the Trail was just one of the 3 events taking place in the month of May.
So we'll be supporting Bike to Work Day Thursday morning. So we've been coming to this event since the city's been putting it on. We do all the events with the city. We're part of the Amgen tour that's coming through. We're part of the other events that the city puts on, which they put on a lot of events throughout the year.
So be sure to grab your bikes and join the rest of the community for Bike Month. For Cougar News, I'm David Gonzalez.
Graduation is fast approaching. I was able to get the inside scoop at our recent grad fair and how to prepare for the big day. COC's graduation is at the end of the month and coming up fast. For students graduating this semester, here are some things that they should be preparing for. Make sure your name is spelled right for the degree that you're getting.
I would make sure that your address is current on file because that's where the degree is sent to. So we have it live streamed for those who can't make it. We are allowing up to 4 guests per graduate. And then we'll also have a cool room in the cafeteria for any young children or elderly for the heat because it tends to be hot that day.
Pre-order your cap and gown in your height at the bookstore.
The day of, they would want to come 6:45 with their cap and gown and dress. And then they would want to leave any personal belongings behind, use the restroom beforehand, all that good stuff.
Don't forget about graduation announcements.
And we imprint them and personalize them with your name and degree.
We also supply stoles, and there's different choices of stoles that the students can choose. We even have a first-generation stole. If you're a first-generation graduate, we have a white stole that you can wear at graduation to announce that.
And even after you're graduated, COC can help you apply for jobs and internships to help you start your career.
Do internships as much as possible to gain more experience, to gain actual experience that you can use on your resumes.
College of the Canyons graduation is just around the corner. For Cougar News, I'm Sophia Alessios.
That's it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Leslie Romero. Remember, you can catch us at the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Sophia Alessios. You can also send us news tips and story ideas at our Twitter handle, COC_Cougar News, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everyone.